Good afternoon, everybody. We're finally getting rain. It has been rainy, or at least we've had rainy days for just over a week now. And we're due to have more this upcoming week. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I don't do much outside. And it means that the chickens have to stay inside because at any given moment there could be a downpour. But more than that, look at that. Do you see that? There's not much greenery there. And all the insects are burrowed deep, deep, deep down in the soil because it's raining. It's wet. It's mud. Do you hear that? It's raining again. Even over here, there isn't that much green and it's all mud. So what are they going to do? They're just going to dig in the mud and not find anything and just destroy the ground? So nope, they get to stay in their very, very large pen until this dries up a little bit. See, they have loads of space to run around in there. And look, their silo is empty. There's nothing in it. Yep, I have to feed them. Now, I don't have a problem feeding them, although it does get a little expensive. My biggest problem is that they don't eat everything that comes in the large sacks of feed that I buy. The large sacks of feed contain wheat, safflower, whole corn, chickpeas, soybeans, peas, like the whole beans, the whole chickpeas, the whole peas, and little orange lentils and wheat. I said wheat. Maybe a little bit of barley. Now, here's the thing. They don't eat everything. They don't touch the lentils. They don't touch the corn. They don't touch the safflower. They rummage around mainly for the wheat. They can't seem to hold on to the chickpeas, and they can't hold on to the soybeans or the peas. Most of their food, I'm going to say at least 25% of their food is just thrown on the ground, stomped over. They never touch it. And that bothers me. It bothers me because it's a waste. It bothers me because I'm spending money on something that they're not eating. And they're always hungry. I feel like they're not getting enough food. When I spoke to the guys at the feed store, they're like, oh, you're just not leaving it there long enough. You're giving them too much food for them to rummage around. I'm like, but if I give them a bag of food and it's supposed to last, 6 days or whatever, and it's lasting 2 days, after 2 days, they're hungry and they're calling out to me, they're hungry. No, you have to not give them anything until they eat what's on the ground. But they never eat what's on the ground. Like literally, they never eat what's on the ground. Even if I go away for a month and I fill their silos, they will have eaten all of the wheat and the barley, and there will be piles of corn and piles of safflower. They don't touch it. And I'm not the only one who says this. My neighbor 3 houses up says the same thing. 6 houses down says the same thing. Across the neighborhood on the other side of the hill, she says the same thing. And down the hill 1.5 kilometers away says the same thing. So I had to come up with a solution. And that is what I did this morning. I went to a grocery store. Yep. I went to one of the big grocery store chains that is known for being slightly less expensive than other places. But the truth is, the prices are pretty much the same everywhere, give or take, like a half a shekel, which is like, 10 cents or something, 15 cents. So I went today and I bought 15 kilos of things that my chickens like. Now, those bags that I would buy at the feed store would cost 120 shekels for 20 kilos. And I estimate that somewhere between 25 to 50%, somewhere in there, depending on the season, because they change the mix seasonally, gets thrown away. So I have here 5 kilos of wheat, a kilo of mashed beans, a kilo of pearl barley, a kilo of split green peas, 5 kilos of rice, and 2 kilos of pasta. And now I know you guys are going, what? Wait a second, pasta? Yes, rice? You're not supposed to give rice to chickens. Oh, right. Mine eat the rice. Very well, thank you very much. But it's going to swell up in their throat. Just like this, just like this, just like this, just like this. All grains swell up in their throats. But what's the big difference here? My chickens eat all of this. And look at the price. I underlined it in blue. Do you see that? 117 shekels and 52 agorot for 15 kilos of food my chickens are going to actually eat, versus 120 shekels for 20 kilo sacks that my chickens discard between 25 and 50%, depending on the season. So at the very least, this is the same price. And I know they're going to eat it. Another thing is, I'm dealing with kilos, not 20 kilo bags. So it makes it quite easy. Pasta. This is interesting because this is 500 grams per bag at 2 shekels 90 each. So that means that for 1 kilo of wheat, I am paying 5 shekels 80 agorot versus 7.90 for a kilo of wheat berries. So this is durum wheat, 1 kilo for 5.80, and non-specified wheat for 7.90. I decided, you know what? I can sometimes give my chickens treats. I can give them pasta. And nope, I don't have to cook it. All I have to do is put it in water, and in time, it will absorb the water and become soft enough anyway. And even if I didn't do that, the chickens would still like to eat it. I'll just break it up for them. Now, I'm going to mix these. There's plenty of protein here, protein here, protein here. There's protein in all of these. And I'm not worried about the protein. I am worried about my chickens getting enough food to eat and them still remaining affordable. Now, this does not replace the ground. When my chickens free range, I don't have to worry about giving them food. But right now, the ground is too muddy. There are no insects for them. So I'm going to be feeding them. I'm going to mix this up and give it to them. And I think they're going to be really happy because they're not going to have to pick through stuff they don't like. Here we go. I've got them all mixed in. Just mix it in. Look at that. They're going to say this and they're going to say, oh my goodness, we love all of this stuff. Now, I know some of you are going to say, the rice. But rice, it doesn't have much protein. You know what? The rice, I'm going to say that it is about as good as the corn as a filler. At least I know they eat it. They'll get the carbohydrates, the energy from it. It's cold outside. They need that energy. But when you want to talk about protein, well, let's look at the protein. This has 11% protein. This has 23% protein. And this has 24% protein. I think, and this has 10% protein. I think that they're getting enough protein with these items. This is 2.5% protein. But this and this are plenty of protein, and they will eat it. So I'm very pleased because this is about as much food as I give them, you know, for every 2 days, except that this is all wheat. So let's see. Let's see how long this actually lasts. She's liking it. She's definitely liking it. And there are more and more coming to join her. But they're definitely liking it. The word is getting out. I don't see them dragging their beaks through it and picking it out what they want. They're putting into their mouths everything, and they're keeping it there. It's all right. I'm just coming in here to see how much you have. Look at that. This is after 2 days. Yes. Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. I mean, there was a pile there, yes. But I still see that from what... You see, that's the leftovers from the sack. But I don't see anything left over. So they're eating this, and they're not wasting it. So for me, that's a win. And for the chickens, it's a win. They're not wasting food. They're not picking up a mouthful and then spitting it on the ground. They're actually eating the food. And considering that after 2 days, I still have food left there for them, that means, guess what? There's actually more food for them to eat. They don't have to pick through what they're not eating in order to get what they will eat. No waste. So if I give them a kilo of food, they're going to actually have a kilo of food. So if you ask me, that's a win. It's a win for the chickens. It's a win for me. And the nice thing is that it actually saves me money. And it's better for the chickens. Until next time.